You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mix Master is live. Get ready.
You're listening to the boss of the big board. JP the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
That's right, a little bit of ASAP Rocky. Praise the Lord, it's Easter Sunday. Giving you the grease, waking you back up to tell you where to put cash in your pocket. And I got my guys on the line with me. Scotty, beam him up, Webb. MLB-daily.com, giving you Baseball Sunday. So glad to have you back this season. Good morning, Scotty. How you doing?
Hey, JB, I am doing great, and happy Easter to everyone.
That's right. Happy Easter to you. Thank you so much, Scotty, for coming on the line with me today. And I brought him back for some more college basketball grease early this morning. My main man, Troy West from TroyWins.com. Good morning, Troy. How you doing?
Good morning, JP. 3 hours before Purdue tips off, baby.
That's right. We're talking about Purdue this morning. We're talking about Major League Baseball, telling you where the cash is at. You guys are going to want to stay here again. Happy Easter to all you folks listening around the world. Celebrating Easter, a day of peace, a day of good food. And we're going to be praying for the wins today here at Vegas Scoreboard Express. So when I get back from this short commercial break, we're going to continue to keep dropping the grease with you. Take a listen to a little bit of this ASAP Rocky, and we're getting ready to get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board. JP the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Jumpers Jungle Family Fun Center is an indoor children's jump and party space in Las Vegas located at 2050 South Rainbow Boulevard. Kids of all ages can come and jump on our bouncers, race through the obstacle courses, speed down the mega slides, slam dunk into the basketball hoops, and much more. Are you looking for that perfect birthday party venue? Look no further. Jumpers Jungle has a party package that will fit your needs. Check out the open play schedule online at jumpersjungle.com or call 702-463-JUMP. It's time to jump your way to fun at Jumpers Jungle on the corner of Oakey and Rainbow.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
More fire, more heat.
You're listening to the boss of the big board. JP the Ticket. Giving you that grease. Vegas Scoreboard Express.
Always spitting that explosive fire.
Back at you live, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, 107.1 FM, AM 1400 here in Las Vegas. Around the world, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. VSX is there. You can follow me on my website at jbtheticket.com. I got my cohorts on the line with me. Scotty, beam him up, Webb, MLBdaily.com. And Troy West. Thank you guys so much for coming back on the big board with me today. Again, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to all you folks out there celebrating. Be safe today. Enjoy your day of worship and good food. But we want to talk a little bit about the recap yesterday. I gave out a little bit of grease. I went 1-1 here. Talking about the men's college basketball. We did pretty well in the women's yesterday as well. Going to touch on that a little bit. But we talk about UConn, the way that they have essentially run through the entire tournament. There's no one that can stop these guys, okay? And we told you yesterday they would probably dog walk Illinois, and they did, 77-52. It was a beatdown. You look at UConn, are we possibly going to see a back-to-back national champion, okay? When you take a look at the issues that all the other teams have had, UConn has maintained their dominance from the very first game versus Stetson. I haven't seen much of anything change, so throwing this one over to you, Troy West. When you take a look at UConn again, this is a team that's going to be having to get out, get ready to ball in the next couple of days, playing Alabama, the team that ended up beating my dog yesterday at Clemson. Clemson didn't quite get it done, but let's talk a little bit about this UConn team, man. Dominant. They're a force. And if this is the team that potentially Purdue is going to have to go against in the national championship, if they could make it past Tennessee today, I'm a little bit worried about UConn. I might want to put a ticket on them. Go ahead.
Well, they're minus 210 at this point to win the whole thing, and obviously they deserve that. The one thing I'll say about UConn is they have had an easier road through this tournament. They really haven't had to face a juggernaut. The schedule's lined up perfectly for them. Alabama, as of right now, they're an 11-point favorite. They opened as an 11-point favorite against Alabama. But Alabama can score points in bunches, JB. They can knock down the three. It'll be interesting to see if that's close. But like you said, right now, there's no reason not to believe that UConn's going to repeat. They're playing unbelievable basketball. They're defending well. They're rebounding well. They're doing everything well right now, so no reason to believe they won't repeat.
There you go. Scotty, beam him up, Webb, telling you about the baseball, but I want to get your opinion on this game. You talked about UConn in the beginning of the season when we really started talking about college basketball, and then later on as we've gotten into the tournament. And you said pretty much, Scotty, a couple weeks ago, just take UConn and go to sleep. Do you still feel the same way? Go ahead.
Well, I think in our business, one of the things that happens a lot of times is people get cute, right? I mean, they go out and they go, oh, well, I got to find ways to play these other teams and do different things to, kind of go out there and say, hey, this is the right thing to do, and play all these underdogs and do all this other stuff. But I think that sometimes the writing's on the wall. It's pretty obvious. I think, I think college basketball this season, has been one of these where there's been some good teams at the top, but no dominant teams other than UConn. And, everybody wants to talk about Houston, or they want to talk about this or that or whatever, or stack up somehow. But it always comes out that, it's UConn. It's UConn. It's UConn. It's UConn. So my opinion has never changed. I don't think that it's one of those spots where you can sit there and go, hey, the favorite's the favorite, and they ought to be, and they should be, and they're the only dominant team, period.
Right. I agree with you on that, Scotty. Again, UConn balling out yesterday, 77-52. Let's move into the other game yesterday. It was a close one. It was actually priced right at the book. We told you to buy it up yesterday in the dog position to +10. If you did it, it should be able to get you paid. But unfortunately, they did not get the win. Clemson losing to Alabama. I warned you guys about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Give them credit where credit is due. They're a high-scoring, high-octane offense. Almost another 90 points last night. 89-82, 54 points in the second half. You're talking about an Alabama team here that is playing with reckless abandon, putting the ball in the basket. Troy West, do we have to worry about Alabama? And are we going to be looking at Alabama as a possible win, maybe at Connecticut, at least getting inside of that 11.5 spread that Scotty's talking about? Plus 550 as the dog coming up next Saturday. Alabama yesterday beating Clemson. Now you say, who's going to test them? And they've got the biggest test of the tournament. Go ahead, Troy.
Well, yeah, yesterday, JB, I took one of my worst losses of the year having the under in that game. Holy smokes, they scored over 100 points in the second half to cover the over. But that's what Alabama's capable of doing. They go 10 of 15 from three in the second half. That's unheard of against a team like Clemson, who defends the three better than anybody. If they play like they've been playing, which is a big if, but if they play like they've been playing, that's the problem with Alabama, JB. They're so up and down. 1 minute they're scoring 100. The next minute you play a team like Grand Canyon, they're scoring 70s. They're going to need to put up 80 to have a shot against UConn. But Nate Oates, outstanding coach. This guy's probably the coach of the year. He's done an outstanding job getting these guys to the Final Four. I would like to think they're going to compete and stay within that number.
I do too. 11 points is a bit much. And then you talk about it from the perspective of the defense here. Going back to Scotty here, wanted to talk to you about Alabama. You know that Alabama is not a great defensive team. Okay, they gave up 82 points to a Clemson team that's been winning in around that 70, 75 point total. So when you talk about UConn that has a coach very stoic, last night again, the same coaching style, he seems to have the players' ears at UConn. They play as a unit. They play as one. Alabama, however, coming in with that reckless abandon on offense, pulling up, shooting threes at will and making them. Do you think that's going to be a possible issue for UConn with that spread? And we'll go ahead and get into it when we get back from the commercial break in relationship to the rotation numbers coming up next weekend. Giving you a little bit of early grease, a few prop bets. Go ahead, Scotty. Scotty, you there?
Oh, hey, JB. Yeah, no, I blinked out on me for a second.
Okay, no problem. I was just talking about the Alabama. Do you like their chances in getting inside of that spread with Connecticut? I know you like Connecticut as the favorite to run the tables here, and now Connecticut with a huge spread. Talking about Alabama, the type of team that likes to get up a lot of points, giving you a little bit of early grease here. Rotation number 671. I know that 11.5 is going to go down. You guys got to get on this dog early. I think they can get inside of that spread. Even if you want to buy it up to a 15, this thing will be down to -7, -8 by game time. Connecticut, rotation number 672, -800 on the money line, but that total of 161, I think that's an easy over if you want to get there early because it's going to go up and that spread is going to go down. Scotty, how do you see it playing out next Saturday? And then we take this short commercial break and come back into today's action and get ready to drop some baseball with you. Go ahead.
Well, I think there's a couple things to consider here. One, I don't think anybody stayed within double digits with Connecticut, right, in the tournament. So I don't. The number doesn't surprise me. And everybody's going to talk about how Alabama can score on offense and they don't have a defense. The problem really runs into is that Alabama is not the consistent offense either. They're a streaky offense. So it could very easily get ugly for them in that game. So I think it's best to kind of watch and see where the line moves and where people want to come in, and you might get a really good number on UConn later. People might get it all the way down to 10 or 9.
Right. That's right. Telling you where to get the cash at. Guys, tell us where to get your picks at again. Scotty, beam him up web, MLB-daily.com, East Coast Sports Investors. Troy West from TroyWins.com. Scotty, tell them what they can get with your baseball because you're going to be giving the first preview of the type of quality picks you're dropping each and every baseball season here on VSX. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you go to the website, there's a lot of things that's on there. I write up the games. I give you a bunch of free information. If you want to just sign up for the newsletter, you can do that too. All of that stuff is free. If you decide you want to get into some deeper stuff, and you want to get odds and things that show value, and you want to learn about things like EV Plus and things like that. You can learn about it there, and then you can actually try me out. I mean, it's $150 for the whole season, one-time shot, or you can do it $75 a month, whatever's up to you.
There you go, Scotty. Beam him up web. Troy West, tell them where they can get your picks. Got some prop picks as well. Got a few folks knocking on the big board door. Might have a few secret guests jumping by, but go ahead.
Yeah, JP, TroyWins.com on absolute fire. 25-9 over our last 9 days. We've been red hot in baseball, covering college hoops, NHL, NBA. You name it, we covered it. TroyWins.com. It's Troy West on Instagram.
That's right, it's Troy West on Instagram. When I get back from this short commercial break, people, everybody here in Las Vegas and around the world, keep it locked because we're telling you where to get the cash at. Got Purdue, Tennessee, NC State, Duke. Ooh, college basketball and baseball. It's time to get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board, JB the Tech Ass. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease. Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV. You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network. To the boss of the big ball, JB the Tech Ass.
Back at you live, JB, the Ticket Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you the grace. Got a newcomer on the line with me, my main man, Jake Pappy from Pick It with Pappy. Good morning to you, Jake. Happy Easter Sunday to you, brother. Go ahead. Jake, where'd you go?
Hey, I'm right here, JB. What's going on?
There you go, man. Had to drop a little bit of grease on you, make sure you were waking up, man. The fish grease is cooking this Easter Sunday here. Vegas Scoreboard Express, VSX Digital Sports Network, KSHP, AM 1400 in Las Vegas, 107.1 FM, iHeartRadio around the world. Again, my main man, Jake Pappy on the line with us. Scotty Beam him up Webb from MLB-Daily.com and Troy West from TroyWins.com. So we're getting into this college basketball today. The NCAA tournament on the men's side is getting ready to get to the Final Four. We've got 4 teams today, actually. A couple of dogs that are barking, okay? We've been talking about this all weekend long. Troy, you said you've been a little bit worried about them. Let's jump into it. Rotation number 655. The Tennessee Volunteers. These guys are a dog barking today. Plus 3.5. 33% of the money. 27-8. Rick Barnes likes to play defense. A lot of folks think this dog is barking. Purdue, one of their lowest totals from the spread side that we've seen all tournament. Minus 3.5 at rotation number 656. Everything that you've said, Troy, has been true. Purdue, they're looking good. They're going to skate through this tournament. Zach Edey, you can't teach height. He's going to ball out on everybody. But you mentioned that this was one of the games that you were quite unsure about based on the way Tennessee plays the ball, the way they play perimeter defense, and the way that they can lock down players on the outside. The entry passes for Zach Edey have been a little bit easier than they should be, but now we've got a team that's got a little bit of height at the guard position, averaging around 6'6". Do you think this is going to be an easy road for Purdue again, or is Tennessee going to give these guys a test? Go ahead.
Well, first off, I'm disappointed in you and Scotty B thinking UConn's going to run away with this thing. Let's not forget Purdue is 32-4, JB. 32-4. What have they done in this tournament, JB? They beat Utah State by 40 points. Were they supposed to win by 50? They beat a really good red-hot Gonzaga team by 12 points. They've also beaten every single team in this tournament by double digits, and they've done it convincingly. This is a dang good Purdue team led by Zach Edey. We said at the start of the tournament, 7'5". Can you coach that? I don't think you can. This guy's a different player. He's a walking double-double. He can score on anybody. He's gone against some of the best post players in the country, and he's still putting up 27 and 20. Tennessee's athletic. They can shoot the three. That's what scares me a little bit. This will be a close game. I think in the end, Purdue takes care of business, 75-70. And if for some reason we get UConn versus Purdue in the championship, JB, that's going to be an instant classic. UConn is not running away with that one. I'll guarantee it.
Well, you know I'm going with the new alma mater. Shout out to all my folks over at Purdue Law. That's right. Get ready to start hopping around and doing some work in these kangaroo courts. Boss of the big board is coming. Throwing this one over to you, Jake Pappy. Thank you so much for getting up this morning. Easter Sunday here in Las Vegas. You're back in the great state of Pennsylvania. I think you're around that Pittsburgh area. You got to get me one of those Primanti Brothers sandwiches. Freeze it and overnight it to me, man. I'll pay you. Okay. I know all about Primanti Brothers, but I like Purdue today. I'm going to buy Purdue down to -1 just to ensure that I get some cash in my pocket. Doesn't really change the line too much, but I wanted to talk to you about this total, Jake, 147.5. It looks like the sports books don't think that teams that are averaging 75 plus in this tournament are going to be able to get up and at them. Purdue is not necessarily known for their defense, but the rebounding, okay? The rebounding, having that 7'5" Zach Edey in the middle has been causing some problems, but you like Tennessee because they can get out and hit the three. I think this is an easy over. If you want to ensure the over, buy it down to say 145. This thing should easily be 75, 77, 75, 85 Purdue. I think Purdue is not only going to win the game, but that spread, I do think it's coverable, 3.5, but I don't like a hook on such a tight game here. I would rather them win by 1 and lose by none. But Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, JB. The total here is interesting. I will say that. I actually like the under here. I think it's going to go under today. I think this will be a close game. I think Tennessee will keep it close, try to play some good defense, and hang around. I like Tennessee to cover.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of folks are thinking that. Throwing this one over to you, Scotty, beam him up Webb. Tennessee, they guys came out of nowhere. Again, I talked about them a couple of minutes ago, but you look at how they are winning in the tournament, all right? It's a flip-flop on offense. They beat Mississippi State. They 73 points, 83 points, 62 points, and then to beat Creighton with 82 points. So Jake has a valid point here where it could possibly go under, but if you're going to get that close at 3.5, that's screaming over because Purdue is going to try to bring out all the stops today to get that matchup, to get the chance to go to the Final Four and possibly compete against UConn, like you said, in that instant classic. Go ahead, Scotty.
I think everybody likes to bet the over, right? I mean, that's what everybody likes to do, and I'm more of a traditionalist where, you got to prove to me why it needs to go over because, I think these games are set, Jeff always says this and appreciate him for saying it. If you don't respect the opening number, you're going to get handed to by the sports book. So if, the opening number is 147.5 in this game, and now it's up to 148, and it keeps climbing. I think every game yesterday, they bet the overs, they bet the overs in almost everything because it's fun. It's fun to root for all that kind of stuff. It's terrible to root for nobody to score and play defense. But I think when you're a coach and you're a team, I think you want to limit the opportunities another guy gets. So I think this game in this particular stance is if Purdue is going to win this game and win this game handily, it's going to be under. And the reason it'll be under is because they throw the ball in, they get it handled, they run a half-court set, and they play good defense, and Tennessee misses their shot. So I think it's going to go under.
I like that idea, guys. It could go under here. Again, going into the next game, we like Purdue. I'm telling you, me and Troy West are all over Purdue here for obvious reasons, but this is the game that everyone has been talking about dogs barking, an ACC tournament rematch, rotation number 657, the NC State Wolfpack. These guys, can they continue their long dog run in this tournament to get back to the Final Four? Could we see the possibility of a Valvano 83 in the making? But they've got the Duke Blue Devils standing in their way today, -7.5. Duke, rotation number 658. Only 29% of the money is on Duke. So when you talk about respecting that number, going back over to you, Jake Poppy, looking at the total here, 142.5. NC State +7.5. They're playing all kinds of good basketball. They've already beaten Duke. They're the ACC champions. Are the sports books giving Duke that late season grease? Is there something that's going on that we don't know about? Because NC State is playing a lot more respectable than -7.5. Go ahead.
Yeah, JB, this is going to be a good game, an interesting game. I do like the over there. I think both teams will get to at least 70 plus. I do think it's going to go over. And I do think Duke is going to cover. I think Duke's going to flex their muscle here. I think the books, the odds are trying to tell us something. Duke's going to flex. They're going to win. Filipowski will move them on to the Final Four.
I think it's going to be more in tune with the referees here. Troy West throwing this one at you. NC State, they play down low. They control the boards. Filipowski, he hasn't seen a big body like that. Oh, yes, he did. And they lost to them in the ACC tournament. So let's talk about it here. This is a team with familiarity. All right. NC State knows what they have to do to beat Duke. It's a neutral court site today, -7.5 for Duke. This dog is barking. This is a wolf that is howling. I'm telling you right now, if you want to be safe, you can buy it up to +10, but I don't think NC State being right at the door here. And let's talk about head coaching. Their head coach is still on that chopping block, getting it to the Final Four, gets that contract renewed. Go ahead, Troy.
Well, JB, this is an interesting one because NC State, you look at what they did against Marquette. They handled them 67-58. And let's be real, Marquette to me is a better basketball team than Duke. They also handled Texas Tech in this tournament. They've handled Oakland. We know what they did in the ACC tournament. Are they out of gas, JB? That's the question. Are they out of gas? Do they have one more Cinderella type of basketball game within them? I don't know. This line's going up hot right now, JB. I've seen it up to 7.5. The Sharps are pounding Duke. For me, I'd like to buy a point, maybe a 1.5, get this thing up to 9. If I'm getting NC State +9 at like a -130, 135, I'm feeling pretty good. I'll take NC State plus the points. I don't think they necessarily win the game, but I think this is decided between like 4 and 7 points. I think 7.5 is too many.
7.5 is a little bit too many. Scotty, beam him up. Webb, your thoughts on this one? Duke and NC State. Do you like the total? Do you like the side? Or are you going to go take the dog money line? I like what NC State has been doing. Again, like I said, if you've already beat a team before in a high-stakes environment, such as the ACC tournament, and then you get to see them again, the revenge factor, yes, that is key. But I just think NC State has a better basketball team right now. When you talk about teams gelling at the right time, NC State, the run, can they keep it going? I don't have any doubt in my mind that they can. I like what Troy said. I told you I'm buying them up to 10. Troy likes them at 9. Scotty, how do you see this one playing out? Duke and NC State. Rotation number 657 for the Wolfpack and 658 for the Blue Devils. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that when you're talking about these games like this, I think that, you know, I don't want to call it a revenge factor, but I mean, I guess it could be, but it's recency bias. You just saw them, so you know what they can do, you know what they're about, you know what they've done, and you've seen them at their best. So I think that there's a reason why there's more money on NC State and there's more tickets on NC State, but the odds are favoring and moving in the direction of Duke. So that tends for me to believe that your sharper, better bets, the sharper people are on Duke. I don't think that you need to go side with that per se, but I think it makes sense in this spot. I think you take Duke.
He likes Duke in this spot. When we get back from this short commercial break, guys, we're going to be having Scotty talk a little bit of that baseball with us, and then we're going to be giving you the best picks of the day, dropping grease here, KSHP AM 1400, 107.1 FM, JB the Ticket, and Vegas Scoreboard Express. Time to get up this Easter Sunday and get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
In times of war and peace, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. We salute those who have given their lives for our country. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten.
This salute is courtesy of Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, serving our area with quality and pride. For a fantastic meal, stop by 1331 West Warm Springs Road in Henderson or call them at 725-214-4140. That's 725-214-4140. Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, on the air reminding everyone that we live in the land of the free thanks to our brave.
Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Yo. You're in the mix. Oil's finest.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard. Giving you that grease.
Straight grease, all money, all sports, no bull. VSX Digital Sports Network. JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. It is Baseball Sunday, and you know I've got my main man Scotty Beam him up Webb back on the line with me to give you some picks to put cash in your pocket. Again, Scotty, thank you so much for coming back on this Sunday with me. Also along with us on the big board, Jake Poppy. Follow him on Instagram at Pick It With Poppy. And of course, my main man Troy West from TroyWins.com. Follow him on Instagram at It's a Troy Win. So guys, baseball season is back. This is the sport where the true sports bettors try to win $1 to $100 a day and put cash in their pocket. It's a full slate today, Scotty. A lot of games on the board. I've been looking around. I've been checking around. I've been seeing, and I still see that my Mets haven't gotten a win. I still see that my Miami Marlins haven't gotten a win either. I'm a little bit worried here, but again, we want to talk to you about, I forgot the A's are supposed to be coming to Vegas. I hope they're bringing a pink box donuts with them with those zeros that I see next to those 3 games. So again, Scotty, let's talk about it. Baseball is back. There are some games on the line today. We want to get into some of the action that we've got coming on a little bit early today, 1:35 p.m. Eastern time, not that early. We've got 2 games. I want to talk about this first team because you were able to see them in spring training. Rotation number 966, the Baltimore Orioles. Again, shout out to all the folks over there dealing with the tragedy of the bridge crash. I mean, come on. You didn't see that? Right in front of you, lights blinking. But again, the Baltimore Orioles, -144, putting Tyler Wells on the mound today. He's a right-hander. So far, these guys are 2-0, going up against the 0-2 LA Angels of Anaheim. Rotation number 965. These guys are +122. Reed Detmers, a left-hander, is on the line. The total over-under run scored is 9. Scotty, go ahead and do your thing. I like Baltimore here. I'm starting off with winners early, okay? -144. I'm taking a money line and I'm going to sleep. Go ahead.
Yeah, Baltimore is just unbelievable on offense right now. And I mean, they opened the season. I think they've scored double digits in both games. They're a young team. They have, they're real easy to root for. They got great kids that play for that team. And they're going to be around for a long time. The way they're built, they got guys coming in the farm system. They got pitchers getting ready to come back from injuries. So this is a team that's going to be around, and they should make a good playoff run.
There you go.
Now in today's
go ahead.
I was going to say in today's specific game, the Angels haven't looked good and they haven't hit well. And everybody that they throw out there for the Angels, they get beat up by this Baltimore offense so far. But what's interesting here is that the Angels' best pitcher is Reed Detmers, and he's pitching today. So he gets the 3rd start of the game instead of the opening day nods. And one of the things I think here is the matchup is more favorable to the Angels today than it has been in any of the other games. And the reason is the pitcher that's throwing for Baltimore, Tyler Wells, he pitched some last year. He's a fill-in starter. So he's not really going to be in the rotation once Kyle Bradish gets back for Baltimore, which will be probably into May. So he's only going to be up here pitching for him for a couple months. So this gives a little bit better nod towards the Angels here. And the second part of this is, the Angels have a new manager, Ron Washington, and he's been around the block a little bit. He's been with the Braves all last year. I think he's learned a little bit, and he held a team meeting yesterday. Not that means anything other than, hey guys, let's think about what we're doing. I would be very surprised here if the Angels weren't a lot more competitive today. And the way my numbers come out and the way I see it as a little closer game than what the odds are. I think the Angels have a little bit of play today, and I'm not telling you to run out there and go, hey, this is going to put my house money on it. But I would sprinkle a little bit on the underdog today with the Angels.
He likes the underdog today with the Angels. Throwing this one over to you, Troy West. I know you do a little bit of baseball. Do you have this one on your line today? And if you do, tell me what you think about it, and then we'll get your thoughts over there. Jake Poppy. Go ahead, Troy.
It didn't make my official card, but I do like the Orioles here. I think the Angels going into the season, they knew this was going to be a disaster. This is a minor league roster without a doubt, other than the guy of name of Mike Trout, who's obviously off to a decent start. Can he stay healthy? But I thought grabbing a guy like Ron Washington, who's been around the block for years, guy's in his 60s, has never been successful. This is a bad Angels team. I think the clubhouse knows it. That's why they're having team meetings 2 games into the season. It's going to be an ugly year for the Angels, JB. You got to ride the hot lineup right now. I'd go with Baltimore.
Liking Baltimore in this one. Going over to you, Jake Poppy. We're going to jump on another game here. This one down your way, Scotty, because it's the Tampa Bay Rays. We love Scotty Beam 'em up Webb down in that Tampa, Bradenton, Florida area. Rotation number 967. The Toronto Blue Jays are heading down your way. 65% of the money is on the Blue Jays, all right? But there are a few sharps who like the Tampa Bay Rays. Rotation number 968, plus 100 on the money line, minus 118 for Toronto. Total in this game is 8 runs. I think I may be able to get a slight over here. You got Tampa Bay coming in with a decent record at 2-1 at home, but Toronto, the favorite today, at only 1-2, with that being a 1-2 on the road as well, just getting started. Kevin Gossman's on the line for Toronto and Sean Armstrong for Tampa Bay. I'm going to throw this one over to you, Scotty, and then Jake Poppy will get you on that one. Go ahead.
Well, this one's a really weird matchup because Tampa Bay is, they're famous for having an opener, and that's what Armstrong is. He's a relief pitcher. He's going to throw 1 inning. Now, having said that, he has a very bad history against the Toronto Blue Jays. He's very poor against especially the 3 batters, Springer, Guerrero, and Bichette. So the guys he's going to face are at the beginning of the game. He's supposed to go out there and get him out. So the next guy comes in, what's called the bulk pitcher. He's supposed to come in, and he's supposed to be able to come in and not have to face those guys. And that's going to be Tyler Alexander. Get to work. So Tyler Alexander's not any big arm. He's a offshoot from Detroit. So I don't like the matchup today for Tampa Bay. In Toronto, Gausman, he should have started game 1. Gausman is a Cy Young type candidate pitcher. I think this is a good spot for Toronto. Small road favorite here. You know, they won 1, they got beat twice. I think they try to get the split here, and I think Toronto's the right side.
There you go. He likes Toronto. Jake Poppy, your thoughts on this one? Toronto Blue Jays at Tampa Bay. If it's on your official card or not, what are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I didn't have this one on the official card, but I do have that Orioles over. I do like the Orioles and Angels over. I'm going to ride that while the Orioles are hot. But in this game right here, I do like the Blue Jays as well. I think Osmond's a better pitcher. The Rays are a really good home team, but it's early on in the season. I think the Jays will get it done.
He likes the Toronto Blue Jays to beat the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's move down to my team in New York. I know I'm giving them a little bit of shout out, but we might as have robots out there pitching for us. Okay, we're 0-2 right now. Rotation number 958, the New York Mets, minus 134. Tyler McGill on the mound for us today, going up against those Milwaukee Brewers. Still staying hot. Good start. Colin Ray, he's a right-hander getting the start today. 2-0 on the road. Throwing this one to you again, Scotty. You're our leader here for baseball. Are the Mets ever going to get a win, or are we looking at a 0-19 team? Are they going to get down in the cellar and try to get shipped out to another state possibly? Go ahead.
Well, I think the Mets are just a funky team. They seem to get a little bit jazzed up about the wrong stuff. You know, you had the slide thing that Reese Hoskins had, and then, you know, they threw at him at the wrong time in the game, and, you know, maybe you know, they need to get focused. You know, this is a team that thinks they're a bunch of superstars, and they do have players. You know, Lindor and Alonso are really good, but I don't understand why they don't function very well. You know, we know they don't have pitching going into the season, but, you know, theoretically they should be able to hit relatively well. They're playing the Brewers, and the Brewers are a team that, you know, got rid of their pitching. So Woodruff is hurt this year and Burns isn't pitching. So, Peralta's their best pitcher, but, they can't hit. But in this series, they've hit better than what the Mets have, and the Mets haven't hit. So it's been an interesting series. I think that in this particular matchup, though, you got Tyler McGill, and his spring saw a little bit of a velocity jump. So I think he's been working on some stuff. So if he can be dominant today, they should be halfway decent. Now, Colin Ray, you know, he's a guy that goes out there and he's been around the block a while, and he's a veteran guy that knows how to get out. And the interesting part about him is that, you know, he's pitched against the Mets quite a bit. He's got a good record against the Mets. So again, you know, it's kind of hard to go out and say, hey, let's go pile on the Mets here because they should win. They're at home and all that stuff. I still think the value is with Milwaukee. I would play them again.
Right, I like the dog too, the Milwaukee Brewers. Give me the dog that is 2-0. Troy West throwing this one over to you. The Milwaukee Brewers are looking like they're poised to get back into the winner's circle. Tried to get over the hump last year, just couldn't quite do it, but they're playing in the National League, which in my opinion, it's a tough league, but they just, like he said, from a pitching standpoint, this is a game that they can win. All they've got to do is hit the ball. Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, I mean, this Mets team, this is a Mets team, JB, that's just confused, right? They went out and blew their load financially a couple of years ago. They took their shot. It did not work out with Max Scherzer and DeGrom as the 1-2 punch. Those guys just couldn't stay healthy. They've just been on a downhill slide ever since. Like you said, they're not wanting to completely rebuild. They keep guys like Pete Alonso and guys like that to stay relevant. But this is a bad team, bad bullpen, bad starting pitching staff, and a lineup that's got a lot of holes. So didn't make my official card today, but I agree. I think there's a little bit of value with the Brewers here as an underdog.
Brewers as the dog today. Throwing this one over to you, Jake Pappy. I'm giving you your own hometown, buddy. Pittsburgh Pirates at the Miami Marlins. You know I got to talk about my two favorite teams here. Both of these guys are 0-0. You got the Mets 0-2. They're in the favorite today. You got Miami 0-3. They are the favorite today. They got Trevor Rogers on the mound for them, a left-hander. Your Pittsburgh Pirates rotation number 955, Bailey Falter here, a left-hander, 3-0 on the road. Again, I'm liking these dogs that are undefeated to get a win just simply because, look, if you're going to give up a loss, better to give it up on the road. But I've been looking at this particular team and what Pittsburgh is able to do from the pitching side of the ball. You're not able to hit these guys, all right? If they can keep that bullpen clean, they do a lot of pitch rotations. They get guys up to about maybe 80, 90 pitch count, and then they're out of there keeping fresh arms in there, and I think that's going to be a key for them to have success in the National League, and you know National League has problems with pitching staffs across the board. But Jake Pappy, go ahead. Do you like Pittsburgh today as the dog? Plus a 110 Bailey Falter, left-hander, going up against Trevor Rogers, a left-hander down in Miami. Go ahead.
Yeah, my Pirates have been hot to start the season. What a nice start they've had here. But I think the Marlins get it done here today. I think Falter, he's just not my favorite pitcher the Pirates got, to be honest. I know that he's decent and they have a good bullpen behind him now, but I think the Marlins here, they lost 3 in a row. They're at home. I'll take the Marlins here, knowing my Pirates.
He likes the Marlins as a dog in a favorite position. Scotty, beam him up, Webb. We'll give you last thoughts on this one, and then we'll take a short commercial break and get ready for our final plays of the day. Go ahead, Pittsburgh or Miami? Rotation number 955. The Pirates down in Miami. Rotation number 956. You got Miami minus 130 on the money line. Interesting total here is 8.5. I'm going to like it to go under simply because I don't think Miami is that great of a scoring team. And Pittsburgh, all they've got to do is just hit the ball. Just win by 1, lose by none. We get the money at the dog position. Go ahead, Scotty, then I'll take this break.
Yeah, I think Miami's in a spot here where, they don't score, they don't hit, they don't do much anything on offense. But they're going to face a pitcher today in Bailey Falter that he can't pitch. So I think Miami has a good chance to turn things around today for them. I know they lost 3 straight. I would be on Miami today if I was going to bet this game in any way.
There you go, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb, Troy West, and Jake Poppy, and your main man, JB, the Ticket Vegas Scoreboard Express. When I get back from this short commercial break, we're going to give you some more college basketball and our best plays of the day. So stay tuned, and let's get this money on Easter Sunday.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that great.
The Klondike Casino is a friendly local spot that features their signature restaurant, the Klondike Grill, serving up fresh food fast. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just off the 95 freeway on Sunset Road in Henderson. You will find the Klondike Casino featuring all your favorite games from the Strip in the comfort of a neighborhood casino. You can place a bet at their full-service sportsbook or start your day with a breakfast plate that comes with your choice of potato and toast. Or check us out for lunch or dinner and try one of our many sandwiches like the popular beer-battered fish sandwich or the Philly cheesesteak. Check out the full menu at KlondikeSunset.com.
Embark on this thrilling journey into sports leadership with me, Dr. David Schoonover, every Sunday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on KSHP, exclusively on the VSX Digital Sports Network. Gain valuable insight into the minds of coaches, executives, and administrators as we uncover the secrets of coaching brilliance. Tune in for exclusive revelations and endless inspiration. Be sure to catch every moment each Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here live on KSHP 107.1 FM and 1400 AM.
Yo. You're in the mix. World's finest, man.
Back at you live, JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. My main cohorts are on the line with me. Scotty Beam 'em up Webb from MLB-Daily.com of the East Coast Sports Investors. My main man Troy West from TroyWins.com. Thank you so much coming in. Jake Poppy from Pick It with Poppy. So glad to have you guys back. Getting ready to round out the show. Got about 5 minutes left here. So we want to touch on a little bit of that college basketball again today. You got rotation number out there for you. Tennessee, the Volunteers, rotation number 655, 3.5 in the dog position, plus 151 on the money line, 147.5 going up against those Purdue Boilermakers. That's right. Rotation number 656, minus 3.5, minus 173 on the money line. Not that expensive if you want to take Purdue just to win it outright. And that total 147. Best pick around the board, starting with you, Troy West. Go ahead.
Yeah, JB, you know where I'm going with this one. I love Purdue. I do think it's going to be a close basketball game, but these guys are rolling right now. No reason to believe that they're not going to get it done today. 75-70, a close ball game, but give me the Boilermakers.
Liking the Boilermakers today. That's right, I am too. They should be in a dog position if you think Tennessee can get in that side of the spread. But no, Purdue is going to dog walk those kids. Going over to you, Jake Poppy. What do you think about Purdue and Tennessee? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad Troy just said that number. That leaning toward the under. That's my pick of the day. I'm going to grab it at 148.
148. He's liking it under. Scotty, beam him up, Webb. How do you see this one going? College basketball, Purdue and Tennessee. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like Purdue in this game. I just think that the SEC plays a up and down shoot and type of game, and I think Purdue can handle that.
Right, I definitely think Purdue can handle it. If you got any prop bets, you want to get over to twprops.com. He's going to be able to throw some things out there for you in the college basketball side. The game that I've got circled, Duke and NC State. I'm actually going to be watching this one. Rotation number 657. The NC State Wolfpack again in that dog position, +7. I'm buying them up to +10, +250 on the money line. If you ain't scared, that total is 143.5. If you look at Duke, rotation number 658, they're clicking at all cylinders at the right time, but I just don't like what I'm seeing on the sideline, okay? If you can get inside of those players' heads, I think you can beat Duke, and I think NC State, who's already beaten Duke, no reason not to go with the dog who can do it again. Going over to you, Troy West. Go ahead.
JB, I'm with you. I like NC State. Like I said, get this thing up to 9.5. I don't think they win this game, but I would be shocked if they don't compete. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game, not a 54-51 like we saw against Houston last week with Duke and Houston. So I do think it's going to be a 75-70 type game as well, 72-68. Duke takes care of business, in my opinion, but they don't cover that big number.
Right, they don't cover that big number. And again, if NC State gets inside of that and we go to overtime, I'm liking that dog as an overtime money line ticket. Go ahead, over to you, Jake Poppy. NC State or Duke, who's going to win on the Tobacco Road today? Go ahead.
Yeah, funny stat. The last team to beat NC State was my Pitt Panthers, I'm pretty sure. Pitt was a bubble team that didn't get in. Funny. Could have been in this situation. But no, today I like Duke. I'm on the Dukies to cover. I think John Shire, Succession, they're moving on.
There you go. Going over to you, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb. Best play of the day for the final college basketball. Then we'll get some baseball picks around the board, then get out of over here to the big book and get some big cash. Go ahead, Scotty, on this one. Duke, NC State.
Yeah, give me Duke. I like Duke minus the 7.
He likes Duke minus the 7. Guys, jumping over to the MLB side, best plays of the day. We talked about a few games, but you can go anywhere around the board. Starting off with you, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb. Again, thank you so much. We had a great first baseball Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. We're giving out Easter eggs that are going to be filled with treats, hopefully with no dust. But go ahead, Scotty. What's your best baseball play of the day?
Yeah, I'm going to go against my hometown Rays here. I'm going to take Toronto and Gosman.
He's taking Toronto and Gosman. Going over to you, Troy West. Best play in baseball if you got one on the card. Go ahead.
I'm going with my Seattle Mariners. They've won 2 straight. They got a walk-off win last night. Their pitching's been outstanding. I told you it would be. They've got Bryce Miller on the bump tonight. They're going to get this thing done on Easter Sunday. Take the Mariners at the small price of -140. Mariners get it done again and take 3 of 4 from Boston.
There you go, telling it to take the Seattle Mariners and rounding it out on the big board side. Got my main man, Jake Pappy, for baseball. Tell us where you can get that baseball grease, and then we'll get out of here to the big book. Go ahead.
Yeah, we do have a baseball package over here at Pick It with Pappy, so jump on board. But my pick of the day is the Reds -1.5. I like the Reds on the run line.
He likes the Reds on the run line. Rotation number 954, the Cincinnati Reds. Nick Martinez, right-hander, on the mound, -168. Total is 9.5. He's liking him on the run line to put some cash in your pocket. That's going to be able to get you at least +175 going up against those Washington Nationals. +142 with Jake Irvin on the line, 1-1. So, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Any final shout-outs? I'll go around the board, starting with you, Troy West, Jake Poppy, and then my main man, Scotty Beam 'em Up Webb. Get ready to take us out of here. Go ahead. Troy West.
Yeah, JB, get to the site, TroyWins.com. It's Troy West on Instagram. We're happy to give you today free. We've been on fire 25-9 over our last 9 days of service. Come take a look. It's TroyWins.com.
There you go. Jake Poppy, because you came in a little bit late, I'll give you some early grease. Tell them where they can find your picks. About 15 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, check us out on Instagram at Pick It with Poppy, and on Winnable, Pick It with Poppy. Yeah, thanks, JB. I actually wanted to give a quick shout out to Troy, though, and that Purdue bet. Holding on. I think that's awesome. Let's see what they can do today.
There you go. Straight grease, and then finishing it out, my main man, Scotty Beam 'em Up Webb. Again, MLB-daily.com. He's got the baseball grease where you want it. Scotty, quick shout out, and then we'll get out of here, brother. Get to the book and get the money. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's Easter Sunday, so I know we do this stuff and we get all involved in what gambling and betting on the games and sports and all that, but make sure you spend time to be with your family today. Call your mom, call your dad, make sure you tell them you love them and how much you miss them.
There you go. Scotty Beam 'em Up Webb, always doing it for the family, and we're doing it for you listening family out here in Las Vegas and around the world. So thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your Easter Sunday. Be safe. Get those Easter eggs and get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big boy, JP the Tech Ass.